sAw on an absolute tear. They have played such good CS for the last, I mean, what would it be now? Just over 2 months, maybe. They've really surged up. It's been a lot of fun to watch. And if they win this, all's good. Oh my god.
We dive straight to this pistol.
Whoa.
It's all 5 mid for both teams. And in that head-to-head, sAw are coming out on top. Christ. I wasn't expecting it to be so quick and so explosive.
I don't think anybody was.
That was just unstoppable force meet unstoppable force.
Let's talk about sAw quickly. They did make Atlanta. They're actually the favourites to win Atlanta, despite being the closed qualifier team. Should they? I haven't actually looked at the Kato lineup, but presumably they'd be in contention if they made it. So, for a team like sAw, I mean, obviously these qualifiers matters for every team, but when you've got, let's say, a playoffs at minimum, maybe a trophy on the line if you qualify, these qualifiers are a big deal for sAw.
Yeah, absolutely. They've got a busy October and November with the RMRs as well, but Bait are in that same camp in that they're, looking forward to those RMRs. And they may have to play sAw in that. Who's to really say how the draw ends up going? I think this, like you noted, the sAw team at the moment are, I guess, feeling really good about themselves. The start of the year was great, and then they had a little bit of a tapering off towards the end of last season, but they're back. They are playing some damn good Counter-Strike. And I feel like some of that does actually sort of conduit itself around Muterus as not only this in-game leader, but the man frags pretty damn hard and probably is playing the best sort of individual Counter-Strike that I've seen kind of across his career from Go to 2 now.
My fear is that in this series, I've got MPL on the line.
Yeah.
And he's saying, fragging in-game leaders. I might know a thing or two. It's traded in this round as it's absolute carnage. How does Roman find 3 kills? Hedrick, I guess, was too late to get an immediate trade. Captain Kirk, blocked by that elbow smoke, couldn't actually get an angle. For the moment, slim advantage. Hedrick taken terribly low. And maybe Roman comes for more.
Yeah. Of course he was going to hunt that kill. He knew Hedrick was within an inch of his life, and, well, Captain Kirk was nowhere to be seen, so the fact that they were so split apart, it's a really good play there from Roman to track down that final frag. With a 2 versus 1 offered up, sure, Captain Kirk does have the bomb on his back, but he'll have an absence of information. Roman, the first man to face in from ramp, but they think it's all clear. Captain Kirk the wrong read. They were doubled up and ready to greet him on that B-bomb site. Maybe a close shave, but given that was the bonus for sAw, very happy with the way that went, with Roman getting so much out of his MP9.
Now, Bait has played a lot of CS today. They were playing a quarterfinal of another event earlier. They had to default the 3rd map to get into the first series today.
Yeah, against Gamer Legion.
That was a 4.5-hour series up against OG. Hour break, then into this. So let's say, conservatively, I don't know, maybe 5 hours actually playing Counter-Strike over the last 8. Prep time on the front. That is a lot of effort in one day.
It would feel like a bit of a waste if it ended in a poor run-in against sAw, but this will be probably the hardest team they face today. And they're doing well on the pistols. They break into B, they get a flurry of frags, and they're not losing a single body. Orp of Story as well will miss his shot, and they are coming for that AWP. Everyone started with pistols, and yet all but Captain Kirk comes away with a rifle and the round with it.
This team is so dangerous on those sort of pies. They're like Aurora that doesn't lose the stupid rounds. That's how I phrase this team. They have much better fundamentals. But they are really dangerous in those sort of rounds. And actually, I think for the general viewer, I don't think they'll realize the average skill level on this team. Because they'll look at Hedrick and NPL and say, it's their show. But Alex is a good player in his own right.
Yep.
And then Essenfield and Captain Kirk. So yes, they're not always in the limelight. But they are punchy players. They're not also Rans on this team. There is a lot of skill. Make
no mistake. If Na'Vi had decided to stick with being a Ukrainian full roster, these were the guys that they would have most likely been aiming to pick up.
Yes.
And for them to have gone international it maybe subverted my expectations, because I thought they're really honing in on that sort of national team identity. But yeah, I mean, they'll have a good relationship with Bait. I mean, NPL as well is on loan from Na'Vi and has been for over a year now. From, I think July last year, he's still with them. And You know, they're just cautiously watching the development of this player that stood in for Navi at a point and wasn't the most impressive, but has found his legs, as have the rest of this bait squad.
I mean, he just came way too early in his career.
Yeah.
Fundamentally. I mean, he just thrust into that position because they felt like, well, they should have just stuck with SDY for another few months. Everyone knows it, but, you know, MPL wasn't ready for that jump up. He'd only been playing in the academy team for a short period, you know, offline big stages. He's still only 19 now. So yeah, he's got plenty of growth left in his career. He's clearly taken a lot over from that Na'Vi experience into his calling now.
That was a weird Na'Vi arc where they were scapegoating players, it felt like. And now to see them doing so well, it's refreshing. I feel like the culture has shifted.
The SDI one was crazy because people forget that actually on, you know, when he was known more as Sumdayo on Spirit, he wasn't the standout player on that team. It was Dexter and Mir, I guess, back in those times. But SDY really did flourish last year. SDY was a bona fide world-class player at the end of the year.
Well, this is a far from impressive round. It was full USPs for sAw. Only after ceding 1 round, but against those pistols, they took a small economy round, and they'll fight for the next.
Bait is a sleeper team, though, in this qualifier, because they're a team... I don't think they're going to win this qualifier. I think there's too much class between sAw and 9Z that one of them is going to win it. But I could absolutely see Bait playing spoiler to one of the two. Their ceiling is so high if they're really clicking. So if I'm sAw, I'm not messing around coming into this series. You can't afford to lose this and have to play for all those low bracket games.
Like you've mentioned, a pretty tough road for them, but it also really help strengthen their calendar as well for October, moving into the RMRs in November. They have the Elisa Espu play out as well in October, and they could add to another event to that tally, but maybe too soon to talk about. NPL, a great double kill, but there's Essential as well, just to catch a third player inside of that B bomb site and carve the path for the rest of the squad. Should be a save call here for sAw, losing so many players so quickly, and only really having that info from Cave. They didn't get a quick rotate out. Or rather, when he got there, didn't actually succeed much, do much better.
Yeah, and on the one hand, whilst Bait might be fatigued from all their other CS today, there's no doubt that they're warmed up.
Yeah.
They're not missing. They are absolutely shredding on these kind of entry pathing as they go onto the sites.
Well, there's a reason when there's so much conversation around how many hours these pro players are putting into the game. And the ones that have a lot of them seem to still be able to produce in the server.
I mean, if you graft, you know, hours last 2 weeks, and I guess, let's say quality hours rather than just DM.
Sure.
Against performance, it's not necessarily 1-to-1, but you'd get a correlation going up. I always felt that, especially for me, the real example is like Bad News Eagles. I truly believe their performances at the major were because it was like a focal point for them to just play outrageous amounts of CS in the lead up, and then just be mechanically so honed. And that's why they couldn't hold it throughout the year, because it's just an unsustainable level.
Oh god, this is not starting too great here for Bait, and they're getting crunched. Roman coming through that smoke towards lane as well. Starts off in a 3 versus 2. The guns are not exactly in a retrievable position, but given that they have the AWP of Story still to play around, this could cascade out of control. Good kill from Essential does eliminate that AWP though.
As impact frags go, that is not to be underrated, that kill. This should have been a non-round for sAw. They didn't buy...
They're getting flanked. Oh my goodness. Oh dear. Just nibbling at the back of Hedrick's mind. The prospect of an A main push. He reads it. And sure, a gun can be recovered here for Roman, but a 2-on-1 with that bomb down, this will be incredibly difficult. They're doubling up together as well. And, oh my goodness, Roman's ripped the head of Headtrick, but Essential is far closer than Roman expects. They expect them to double up for that post plant. A lot of fear, I think, coming down the spine of Bait there, but they dodge that bullet. They get 4.
Their T side, they can brunt it a little bit more. But yeah, you're right. If Headtrick doesn't give Elbow a little bit of a check, there are many worlds. Well, they've just lost to an almost full eco around some saves. Otherwise, though, they'll keep it going. Round lead now for Bait. Saw gets them back on the guns. And Headtrick finds the angle boosted on the box. Story can't win that duel. ewjerkz does get one in response, but now the cavalry is coming. There's so many players here for Bait as they try to force out this hit, but Roman will not be denied. The third kill is savage. He's got the bomb. They got util as well to block the lanes. And Roman, you dirty boy, look at this. He's going to keep getting aggressive.
Knows exactly where Alex was. Alex found a kill in through mid earlier on, and they read his reposition. They doubled for that push as well. Roman wasn't going to go and overexpose himself before he had the safety net of a teammate to trade. But Roman, a 4K in defense of that B bomb site. Another massive triple kill from the MP9 round that he had earlier on. And now as well getting the job done on the M4.
There must have been a killer flash as well, right? I couldn't really tell.
Yeah.
But there must have been a supported flash from CT as someone was rotating. Yeah. Can't overstate how important those are.
Timing couldn't have been better as well. He got his first kill and then the flash popped. So he was going to try and play anti-flash or going to attempt to dodge that flash.
Yeah.
Very likely to turn right into it.
Those are always the best highlights because some highlights you take out of context and it's like, okay, that round was over anyway, or, they're in a good setup, or the util, whatever, the players are running in, already mollied down to 10 HP. That 4K was, he's the only man left. His teammates have either been killed immediately or traded, and he is getting absolutely swarmed, so one-man army was Roman. Keeps them in this. Bit of a tech pause. We hopefully, given that we're a little bit delayed already, we hope it's nothing too scary.
I mean, from Bait's point of view, that prior round, they get, the entry to long with the AWP, and then they kill one site, so they definitely were not expecting Roman to be there so quick, especially with him being quite a presence inside of, Cave and Cheetah. He loves playing around those angles, but got to sight in time. And the tech timeout also comes to an end. So we're tied up, 4-4. Bait already doing decent work here on this T side, but a lot of that was sparked off of the pistol round investment, or I guess the half buy for them to start to turn the tide on sAw. Peter is playing close to the smoke, and he actually drops that at the feet of Captain Kirk. It's just a flurry of frags. It's a spray transfer from Captain Kirk. And just like that, this heavy mid-presence that sAw wanted to display is simply punched in the face.
Felt like the pistol round. Wow. sAw just couldn't get a good engagement whatsoever. It's always a bit of a dice roll, isn't it? There's just so much going on. But to only find one kill in mid.
Oh, God.
One kill total if Story can't connect. Better late than never. Well, I dare say, guys, he's not going to win this round, but even saving, given his proximity now to the site, doesn't seem likely. He might do best to actually get on the site and try and exit from the site.
Yeah. I think they're just going to leave him there. He will die to the bomb, so he has to get a move on somehow. And Headtrick's there to do some damage as he crosses. One bullet? It's gonna be close, but yeah, Story dead. Headtrick did his job. He'll fall to the bomb as well, but they make sure that AWP does not carry over to the following round.
Something so satisfying about seeing these national teams do well. Obviously more so sAw than Bait.
Sure. Yeah, it's kind of lost its allure. You know, there wasn't a team you could root for if you're, you know, interested in how well, I guess, your country is represented. We lost that for a while, but slowly making a return.
One day Endpoint will be back. Not yet.
Yeah.
So yeah, Saw as well. It's like Saw is also a team that I know they're playing some of their better CS individually, but you're not going to convince me that individually this team is on par with some of the opposition they're around in the ranking. So their advantages come from elsewhere, as the communications, the chemistry. That's why this team is good. It's not because they have, you know, an absolutely star-studded lineup that an international team of their level probably does.
It seems to come in waves, doesn't it? At the moment, it's a wave of international teams finding success. I mean, top-ranked teams like Na'Vi, G2, Vitality.
Yeah.
Further down that list you go. I mean, Spirit, Eternal Fire, sAw, Pain, the Mongols.
I know, I need to clip some stuff from that podcast we did, and just where everybody doubted me that Eternal Fire is actually a really good team.
Yeah, I mean, no, they have been solid.
It will. I'm not sure it will ever go back to. It's also that even like the Mongols and teams like that, like such good CS. There's something to be said for these national teams.
Yeah, it's not just about, you know, how clear your communication is. It's sometimes as well about how the speed of it.
Yes.
Those seconds can really ramp up or mount in rounds as they unfold. Story though, fast kill, an attempt at it, at least over towards A, but he'll end up empty-handed. Orozdosh and Muteris, the ones that are finding success and stopping the push here from Bait. A very fast call to move in towards this A bomb site, and it is trumped. 2-on-4 now to try and play out from, and with as many smokes as there are down, sAw are playing it very cautiously.
I wonder if their plan was to push into Donut, because they didn't use any util for it. Clearly hasn't worked, and now it's gone from bad to worse.
Yeah,
this bomb is not going to get planted.
It's a desperate move while they still have those smokes up.
I guess they'll be buying no matter what in the following, but this round has been a little bit flat. Especially given that they caught Story in transition. Well, they should have got more out of this. But barring a huge blunder from the Portuguese squad, Captain Kirk is not going to get fights before he, you know, tries to get the bomb down.
And Muteris is the player on standby to swing out. Only from Captain Kirk will force him out, and that is a nice kill to find, but down to 12 HP, he'll get flanked out by Muteris. He was really trying to piece that one together, but like you said, so we're not giving him proper gunfights. He had to really force those engagements. So we move into the last round of the half. Saw trailing by 1, but I mean, given the way that they have been playing in their sporadic multi-fragging, wouldn't be surprised if we end up 6-6. If Bait can actually subvert that expectation, find a clean opener, because that fast play to A, it didn't work out like they'd planned.
Going back to mid, sAw, despite the last time this opener being in, didn't trade in their favour. For now, it's looking pretty good. Oh, everybody's just intent on coming mid, and it's only head trick that remains. So this time, firmly in favour of sAw. It will be 6-6. Head trick. He's not winning this round.
They just threw chaos at them.
It all happens so fast. It'd be interesting to watch it back and see if they actually change their util, because that was so much better than earlier.
Yeah. I mean, even the Naza they threw towards lane were just right on the mark. Edric will walk through the smoke, but we end the half 6-6. We'll see how things turn out after the break.
So you say you got a new one. I know that you're trying to believe that you can fake a whole scenario just to make me jealous. Your shadow keeps stalking, and we should stop talking. But we got that special something. Say it like you mean it, I won't fake it and believe it when I see it. But for now, I just be breathing, doing nothing. I won't cave in if you won't make a move right now. Oh, why do we go 360? You're hesitating, now it's busy. You know we always can go easy. Won't you let me know? Why do we go 360? You're hesitating, now it's busy. You know we always can go easy. You should let me know. Oh, I'ma be clear now. Patience is really not my key, but if you play your cards right, I might just think about it twice. Yeah. Say it like you mean it, I won't fake it and believe it when I see it. But for now, I just be breathing, doing nothing. I won't give in if you won't make a move right now. Oh, why do we go 360? You're hesitating, now it's busy. You know we always can go easy. Won't you let me know? Why do we go 360? You're hesitating, now it's busy. You know we always can go easy. We can go easy, but you should let me know. I've been giving clues and you're acting all blind, trying to make some moves, but you're staying behind. How come you don't get it when I say it like that? Like that, like that, like that. I've been giving clues and you're acting all blind, trying to make some moves, but you're staying behind.
Back in we go. Speed running the Counter-Strike. I realised actually we hadn't gone through the veto, so obviously Ancient, Bates pick, Nuke, pick of sAw. No surprises there. Third is Anubis, so no huge surprises. And lots of maps that both teams like.
Yeah. Now they're going to be too satisfied. That's a lovely shot from Captain Kurt. Done some damage in middle in some of those T-side rounds, now contributing here on CT. Good util set out from sAw, though. Does force Alex back, and he was that main defender of this B bomb site, so while losing Essential through the smoke on short, does come down to a 4-on-4 with the bomb down. What a good spread.
Oh, we're getting aggressive. Wow.
Yeah. Trying to
it's
fight
the right
towards
decision.
short as well. NPL spinning, though, with that Glock. And Roman still holding on to long control. Down to a 1-on-2, but they have a kid available. Headtrick sticking that bomb, and it's just too far away for Roman to contest. Captain Kirk, another lovely headshot. Bait, control it. They take back that pistol. Retake successful. CTs start with that round advantage coming out of that 6-6 half.
I don't hate the call from sAw to get aggressive. Potentially a bit late, maybe. Could be a case there. But especially knowing what we knew about the flanking player, it was like, if you're just going to sit in cave and ramp, it's not necessarily the easiest after plant. So it doesn't work, but I somewhat admire the proactivity.
Yeah, I think Roman was a little bit far away as well, so they couldn't actually double swing long as much as they wanted to. Okay, well, I mean, NPL just drive by insta double headshot, and Headtrick's there to as well trade him out in through mid. Nice advantage to kick it off. sAw did come in with a force buy, given that they had gone that plant down, and a completely disregarded ledge does leave Captain Kirk exposed. Headtrick now boxed into a corner, switching to his USP, and Roman will run him down. But there is a constant fleet footing from everyone involved in just constant re-aggression in through mid. And Bait were the better for it. They had more players when they started off that chaos.
They have some funky moments. They get away with that. But it did cost them a lot of economy. I don't know why both the players tree there were looking at elbow. I guess I can't remember who it was. It might have been Captain Kirk, but whoever was there. I don't know. Maybe the sAw player on elbow was making a lot of noise and spamming, but was a bit surprised he was so open when he had a teammate. Could have just played, out the front of Donut and one in tree, and he would have been 100% safe. So who knows? Who knows? MPL's off to a cracking start. Doing his best to catch up with Roman.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that Roman's on 17 kills, but... Yeah, I mean, he had a hell of a CT performance. Was it two 4Ks? Might have been 1 3K and a 4K, but...
I think it was the 3K on the MP9 and the 4K on the
M4, yeah.
Yeah. But even then, it's not like those were his only frags. He must have been consistently getting 1 or 2 with these sort of numbers.
And the multi-kill master. Typically the guy you look to clutch, but hell if he can come through with multi-kills, and hell if he can come through with kills like that.
The memo that, ewjerkz meant to be the best player on this team. Not today. Good trade from ewjerkz, and not again. Can't have more force by rounds 1. Of course, it was Bait's force by win in the first half. They got them engaged in this map. It's been a very different terrorist campaign for them without that round. Story tries to force a fight. Rostos doesn't have armor. ewjerkz doesn't expect the flanking player, and Rostos surely just gets checked here. And God, he almost looked like he disconnected there at the end. Didn't even fire a shot.
He was a little spun. Maybe I wasn't expecting Hetrick to walk up so close, but even then Hetrick didn't actually clear towards default. There was a world that was maybe possible there for a Rosdos, but not to be this time over. They do get the plant. They did get into the bomb site, but not quite as fruitful as Bait's force by win on their T side. Alright, real stopping power now for the sAw camp. We saw a lot of aggressive mid control from Bait. They tried to go for fast execs as well out from spawn. Not likely to see that from sAw just yet, given this is their first actual gun round they have on this T side. But before you know it, Bait might start approaching that finish line. It might force sAw's hand. Central playing around the smoke inside of lane, and he's even pushed further up, all while Alex is walking down the ramp, so Roman has to keep his wits about him. Once this smoke fades, Essential will be a sitting duck, and it's an instant kill there from Essential, almost a double, but they know they have Story boxed into a corner. 22 HP and the bomb as well on his back. They need something out of the lurking presence inside of A, but even Story can't escape. He gets spammed by Alex on his retreat.
sAw doesn't have the bomb.
Yeah, it was on Story's back.
Yeah, we need to reallocate these forces. Appreciate there's 50 seconds left, but that is... It's not going to last. Time here to get the bomb back. Hetrick way out in the open. NPL wins a critical duel. So, now it just seems impossible. Tira seems to agree. That opening sequence, let's call it, with the ramp push and then the push through the smoke from Essential, that is crazy. Perhaps there's more layers, more coordination to it than we can, absorb at the moment, but that seemed quite reckless from where I was sat.
Yeah, sure. I mean, Alex is pushing solo, Essential's inside of smoke, and kind of not really in an active position to help. It did feel like it could have certainly spun the other way in favor of sAw. It wasn't like anything that Bait were doing was too disruptive in that manner. But they won the fight.
The thing that actually confused me was that I would have thought the whole idea of it was that Essential's going to push the smoke when his teammate takes contact from the ramp side, but he didn't. He stayed in the corner and then hit the most unbelievable kind of pivoting shot despite being stuck. That can't be the modus operandi of how that setup's meant to work.
Yeah.
That can't be the plan.
Or he jumps up on like the wood pallet where you can get some vision above the smoke. He went completely different routes than I think what you'd see many other teams do with similarly util down.
If it works, man.
Yeah.
If it works. Close now to the finish line, and sAw I mean, clearly looking at the buy, they're saying that we've got to keep, you know, the pressure up. We can't relent. We can't eco now and give away 11 rounds and more money. We're going to crack Galil's out and try to just end this onslaught because, yeah, no T rounds yet for sAw.
It is very fast mid-control here from sAw. A nice blow with the smoke, though, by NPL. Catches Muterus off guard. The free headshot. Roman doing a lot of damage. Essential down to singular point of health. One bullet will do him, and Roman even finishes off the job with a headshot. So, once again, more activity from Roman inside of Cave. Will it be enough for sAw to actually crack open to one of these sites? They have permeated right into Red Room, and Hetrick is moving into a position where he can provide some assistance, keeping tabs on this area, but he has to get his kill, and he does go traded. But the bomb makes its way past Red, and can link up with this A-Lurk in Rozdosh.
There's so many layers here. When does Roman get engaged? Bomb goes down. sAw might be quite scared to take more map controls. They don't have numbers. Story, though, clearly not scared. So he goes wide in CT. There's a lot on this off angle working from Story. Finds the first NPL late for the trade. That is beautiful. And the insurance policy of Roman doesn't actually need to get engaged. That could prove to be a massive double kill from Story in terms of keeping them in this series. Well, map. Not quite the series yet.
Yeah.
Could be later. It could be later on if they win this map. Lose the second.
But he isn't just satisfied with those 3 kills, even catching Kurtka on his retreat. Round was already won. A lot of that due to Story, but I have to give a little medal of commendation to Roman, throwing in a little bit of that chaos, making them doubt the B play, because it made those Red players have a little bit more freedom. You know, that guarantee of the trade. Story getting into through CT just made Rozdosh's job easier. Everyone else can get into the more solid positions. Yeah, Story, his double kill. Definitely what secures the round.
Small things, though, for Bait. It's like, hey, you know, if your spacing is slightly better in CT, you trade him. And then it's on. It's a 2v2 retake. These are the margins. It's what should be separating a team like sAw and Bait, is that sAw should be more fluid, more experienced. Less holes to their game. Perhaps it will play dividends later in the series, but clearly some work to do yet for sAw to equalise here. On Ancient. And I think if I'm Roman, he's playing a risky game.
Well, not only him, Alex pulling nades out and jumping back into safety. Molly lands at his feet, but a bullet caught between the eyes. NPL there to try and relent right back into this B play, but Story is ripping heads. It's finally a nade that finishes the job. But it's 3-on-3, and Essential is still holding onto this cave control that can be a massive problem for sAw coming in and holding onto this post plant.
Oh, if he knew there was no smoke, he'd have saved for the bomb, but don't blame him. Alright, what are we going to get then? 2 cave. Muterus is flanking cave. As is Roman. We need a Rozdos to buy a second of time. It might be enough. Swings come in. Roman will never be expected. Surely not. And they don't have the time anyway to finish this off. 8 for sAw.
He has to get some distance. And he will do so. Could have gone down to the bomb there if he sat close enough to that red wall. I've learned that the hard way. But yeah, I still can't believe sAw went for a double flank in that scenario when they've got a player on the bomb site that has very few places to hide. They were very slow to re-engage onto that site, even with all the advanced control they already had. While we were focusing on how close Bait were to the finish line, sAw now putting their foot down and getting 2 straight. There is a creeping doubt that they can close this map. Story is really just turned up in the past few rounds, hasn't he? I think he's missed a beat with any of these AK bullets, and this is the AWPer for for the Portuguese squad.
Yeah, he's been playing great CS since the summer player break. Just actually checking his stats, and his stats towards the end of last season, so whatever it would be, May, June, maybe April as well. He wasn't playing his best CS. I don't know if it was, internally they weren't in the right place, but
I think that's just Saw as a team. They weren't playing great CS towards the end of the season.
Story's got one of the maddest storylines though. He goes up to that original Saw team, it doesn't work out, comes back for the win, then goes up again in place of Stododo.
Yeah, and then he relinks with all his for the win guys and ewjerkz and Arozdosh. So
pretty crazy. I mean, it's like the number of players that get that jump up, then come down, and then you'll never see them play again at the top level. That is the norm. Story's storyline is the total opposite. You do not see that often.
And it was like, hey, did you meet anybody good down in for the win? He's like, yeah, I've got a couple names.
Yeah, they're better than you guys.
All right, sorry about that. We'll make some changes.
That said, it's Roman this game at the moment.
Yeah, too true.
Oh god. Oh boy, still got it. Okay, well, Saw's done the hard work. Beta out of money. Should they lose this without saves? So, key round to come. What have you got for us, Mr. Mutiris?
Ooh, a very fast smoke to be, and it's a immediate call to just run up the ramp. There is no Molotov to slow them down. Headtrick just trying to play cool and comfortable in his cubby, and he will wait for Essential and Headtrick to link up. This was a crunch, and as much as sAw wanted to go with a faster play, they just get immediately stopped. Even without the Molotov down, they just create a crossfire as sAw are progressing, and they get ground out.
Feels like so much of that round is like, I think, was it Alex? Because his head trick that was tucked in the long side of the back lanes. I don't know who the other player was, Sight, but they just stayed so calm. He held his deeper line. He was anti-flash for the most part. And they're like, the way you lose those rounds of CT is if you take all those fights, you're in the ninja corner or you're swinging wide from pillars to take the jewels. They said, no, we're going to let you come to us. Then when you're exposed, we'll take the fights on our terms. And it really worked out nicely.
And you're even thinking about it from sAw's perspective, asking where are they? As nobody was taking those challenges until, like you said, it was more favorable for them. A nice opening 1-for-1, but oh my goodness!
What?
NPL! A double nade and then the spam through smoke this round is emphatic. They shut down any progress at B. sAw barely get past the doors.
I love this bait team. They really confuse me. Probably the best way to put it is their CS perplexes me sometimes, but they are a true example of when you do stuff on the same page, you can make a lot work if you're just doing it together. And that seems to be the mantra for them. 3 chances now to put sAw to bed, and it's not going to get easier than this. Look at the investment. You're banking all your chips on your high fragging players, aren't you? Give them the rifles. Because especially given the util, that is all you've got now.
Yeah, such a struggle for sAw. They tried to simplify in the past couple of rounds, and in doing that, I mean, Bait have just awoken. 2 rounds straight and a ripper of a shot here for NPL. That could be this map done and dusted. That AK that they wanted to have in their best player's hands. Roman's had the hot hand. Now Story. That second in command will take ownership. Muteris on the Galil now. But there is a lot of room ceded to sAw. They are playing inside of the bomb sites, and so this is a lot of ways that this can go wrong. Headtrick spotting the approach. No clear onto Captain Kurt, and he'll just eat them up. A lovely spray on 2. Muteris does trade, but Headtrick's there all the same. Story floored, and Bait close out Ancient 13-9. So we're close, but Bait finding that lead and finding form towards the end of that map.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say it was the cleanest CS ever, but they do find a way to make it work. And they're on the same page. And the individual firepower for some of those players was wild during this game. NPL. 2 here between sAw and Bait. This one, though, will be Nuke. And as good as, I guess, Bait looked on this first map, I mean, just put in context, Michael, how big a result would this be if they could actually 2-0 this series and do it on Nuke?
Yeah, especially like we've noted a couple of times already, a sAw that have been looking rearing hot coming into this season. For them to fall to a Bait would be quite something, but they're coming in with quite an emphasis on this second map in Nuke, already finding 2 openers via ewjerkz, who had a slow opener on Ancient. It's looking like this pistol is firmly in the control of the Portuguese.
What's this thing about this series about ending rounds in 10 seconds? An incredibly quick series, and well, this round's already done. Could be strung out by these saves. Bait go for some exit kills. The round, though, is done. And we're just playing for pride at this point.
Yeah. Nice that ewjerkz is finding some early impacts. Can't rely on Roman to have that same sort of standout that he did in that performance on Ancient. Even if it was a loss for the map. You need your traditional stars. Story was doing his part. Hell, he was doing a lot more on rifles than he really was doing on that AWP. Quite a few misses on that CT side, but when he got into T, he was ripping heads. I think his NPL was just doing it a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, in general, if you look at sAw as a team, we're going to grow towards retaining this world ranking, and I mean, it's going to be a very tall order, but pushing higher, I need ewjerkz to be a bona fide world-class star player, and you know, you got to earn those stripes. He's playing good Counter-Strike, but there is a, you know,
there's levels.
There's levels to this. You don't show up on the server against Nico and immediately be an equal.
I mean, it might be enough to get you on his team sometimes, but...
Okay, shots fired.
Yeah,
Savage.
Not as though it was a bad move.
Savage.
Either.
That was good.
Well, this is a force buy from
How's
Bait.
that milk now? Well, it's just a force buy here for Bait, and clearly with this lobby presence, they were hoping to catch some sort of plays upper site. They're not going to catch anybody. It'll be the reverse. It'll be Roman. NPL. It's a good dink, but it's no frag, and I guess the only option now is just to save what they got remaining.
Even with as much info as they had, they still didn't actually know what was going on in this round. So we're playing incredibly slow. We're giving a lot of sound cues away. Roman tucked door. Meanwhile, everybody else was on that B bomb site. You know, even then, players are kind of walking into their deaths. Nicely handled. Lovely shooting from Story as well. He's catching himself a second kill. But, yeah, I fear for his life here. 7 HP in this corner. It's planted back site, so I think he's dead. I think if it was planted Astralis, he might live. Yeah. The players in those secret steps taking, what, 40, 50 HP each, so had to jump into spawn somehow. Like I said, if it had been the Astralis plan, might have had enough distance to just barely survive. Yeah, kind of a shame there for Bait, though. Going with that force buy and just don't know what's happening until they walk into the crosshairs of sAw.
Okay, well, this one's an even lesser buy. But Bait are a sort of team that can make these interesting, and they do have 4 sets of armor. So, let's pay attention. Yeah. What have we got? Cross smokes for sAw. Muteris is going to come through the closer smoke and push in towards main. He might get the drop on Alex. His timing is favorable. Flashbang goes wide, and the flashbang is ideal. That is perfect. Oh my lord, in the meanwhile, frags go the way of Bait. And that bomb is a bit on its own. No way.
Oh. That was a chance.
He almost had the unreal timing.
Yeah, they just both seeded the angle and able to adjust in time. Still overpowering story. 6 HP here on Essential, but close range. It's actually, that AK is close to that corner as well, where he can nab it. Gets his hands on a Galil instead. Oh, but they're going to double up together. Good presence of mind as well, just to guarantee this trade. They know that the bomb has been compromised. First kill is easy, but Essential getting both. What? Even on his low health, they cannot connect a bullet. He finishes with 3, and Bait off of the worst looking half buy, force buy, whatever they saved in that second round. That's what comes back to haunt sAw.
I'm a bit speechless.
From a beautiful flash play for Muterus set up inside of main that we actually didn't get to see, to the flash into ramp. You know, there were simultaneous flash plays set up by both teams, but Bait's one had that much more punch.
Oh, this force buy is not going to end well. Surely not. Ah, it's lost all the sting. The bomb is out on the site. Alex, USP out seems to be enough. And part of me just feels, I mean, there's a lot of CS obviously left to play on Nuke, but the wind has just come out of sAw's sails. Economy's going to be a disaster after this one. And Bait live with 4 players, picking up guns galore. They have money. Game on, baby.
Yeah, that looked like
That
looked like an angry call from sAw almost, just to try and run them over on a fast A play after losing a round to pistols in that manner. It seemed like they were pissed, and it didn't work to their advantage whatsoever. Bait were very good to fall into some good anti-rush positions.
You see how Barry chooses to use those pauses? He might go for one before the next gun round. They are a map down, so they're, you know, everything matters here.
Sure.
Just quickly check the 9Z game. So for Reedy Maxo, we did win map 1. If 9Z lose their series, you do not want to be in the lower bracket. Your chances become much more difficult.
Whether it's Portuguese or Spanish, you know, if those two end up at a collision course in the lower bracket, it'll be tough for either side. Neither to be underestimated. It was I Am Dallas where 9Z really kind of caught everyone's attention. I think, you know, anyone looking on that at that event wouldn't have pegged 9Z to be a team that even has the ambition of making it to the playoffs. And yeah, they did, and now it's put a lot of teams on notice for them.
It still makes absolutely no sense to me that Martinez is playing his best CS on that team.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I do not understand. Nor do I necessarily understand that push.
What is
was
happening?
the plan always the lobby crunch, but we went at completely different times? That surely isn't how that's meant to look.
Yeah, well,
to work.
they had
Surely not.
they had a set nade to blow open the ramp smoke, so they clearly wanted to get that extra info quick, but they just catch bullets immediately. Yeah, definitely not gone to plan. Muterus will, if he had slid through into that main smoke, he actually would have found a fantastic timing. Him, of course, none the wiser, but he'll take an off timing, and as his teammates come out through door, Muterus will help clear out the rest of the site. This is a 3-on-2, but 2 players are low here on sAw. They need to try and make use of that smoke while they have it. Muterus, that healthy player, out in the open, trying to defend and stave off NPL. But it's Hedrick slowly approaching on this flank. And he does spot just the tiniest slither, but he misses his shot and he pulls a nade. He's getting run down, but it's the quick no-scope out from Hedrick. Gets his hands back on that AWP in time. It's ewjerkz up close, and Headtrick will not relent. He holds his line while MPL was slowly encroaching. This round looked like it was saw's for the taking, and yet Bait have gone off to some craziness via Headtrick.
I don't understand. I don't understand.
You think he's
This
dead.
team is so entertaining.
You would think Headtrick is dead every day of the week as soon as he pulls that HE out, and yet he still succeeds. I don't get it.
I was so sure the HE was going to get the kill as well, and then he gets the no-scope. Oh, unbelievable. And whilst it's a laughing matter for us, I'm really surprised not to see a pause now from sAw.
Yeah.
Because, not that this half is, you know, there's a lot of CS left to be played here, but Bait have money. It's just a half by now for sAw. It's not long before we're just playing for damage limitation on the C side, and that shouldn't be how this is. sAw are a bona fide elite level nuke team. It shouldn't be competitive.
Yeah, and it's not like they're losing rounds in, I guess, more conventional ways. You know, if they're getting picked apart in the way that they're defaulting or the way that they're executing outside, for example, you know, maybe it just goes, okay, maybe you need to rethink your approach, but I guess because the rounds have been a bit more chaotic and a bit harder to call, perhaps maybe that's why Barry doesn't insert himself in just yet. But they have found their way into an open B bomb site. There was no rotation out from Bait.
Easy. And now some Jeopardy. This is not necessarily an easy retake. A lot is on these initial engagements to open up space. Time a factor. 20 seconds to go. We need to shift it as the CT players trying their hardest to isolate the fight. Now it's only Mutiris, and I think it's going to be all okay. I know that looks clean in the end, but one more kill and they get delayed. Who sticks the bomb? I can't believe they got down that easily. So I just got the bomb planted in 5-on-5.
Yeah, had they had greater success sort of pushing them away from those secret steps or the vent drop, you know, all of those holes, yeah, there actually could have been a very poor set of choices ahead of Bait for that retake. But lo and behold, they succeed. They actually had a nice temperament to them coming in for that retake.
They are quite composed. They do make some mistakes, don't doubt it. They're still the team learning. Yeah, learning top 5 Counter-Strike, but it's, yeah, they when I've watched so many games of teams like Aurora, like Nine Pandas, you know, these sort of teams, especially the old Nine Pandas lineup, Forza at times too, this Bait team plays a more reliable brand of Counter-Strike.
And I think it's nice seeing them all on tempo. You know, it's the same philosophy or same ideas, you know, everyone being on the same page, but when they went for that retake, nobody was fast while others were slow. You know, everyone had the same sort of rhythm to themselves. I think it's equally as important. Well, this time there is someone towards lower. Headtrick is in a one-and-done position, but they have to kind of funnel into his AWP, and he has support from high. Mutiris close by. Headtrick does fire his shot, and Headtrick even hitting up close. Mutiris was there to run him down. Instead, he gets clotheslined by that AWP. It's 3 for Headtrick in defensive B.
Where the hell has this come from? He's invincible.
I don't know how.
Absolutely invincible. They can't deal with him. he's in positions where he's just definitely dead.
Yeah.
I mean, how could you possibly survive?
Kind of lucky to get more than one type positions, and I mean, this time he's pulled 3.
I can't believe he hits the last with. He actually scoped it as well for
the
last one and got a headshot. It's ridiculous.
They're between the atoms of Mutiris' face.
Well, we need to start having this 2-0 conversation because Bait is making a very compelling case now. And you can even see the investment here from sAw. I'm somewhat surprised they're going all in, you know. I guess they do manage to get 4 AKs out, but I don't know, the lack of pauses.
even now...
We're getting a lot of map control for free as well. It's not like that's a huge... It's not like we're getting to a bomb site. You can't end these rounds.
What, they come into this round with very limited utility. I mean, some smokes, but they've used most of them for the cross. There's one Molotov left in Rozdosh's possession. So even if they go down towards B, it will be incredibly taxing for them to get any security on a plant.
Especially in a game where Hedrick has been formidable, to not have the util to take him off angles. That could spell trouble. The one thing that has been in saw's favour somewhat is that Bait, this entire map, have completely disrespected the secret cross. They do not rotate. They rotate once they've cleared lobby. And yet again, just like the half-by round we saw a few ago, Bait are going to be forced into a 5-man retake soon enough.
Oh,
not anymore. Yeah. Maybe just save.
Yeah, they really might. I mean, with Hedrick dying so quickly, I mean, Essential is kind of caught between two minds about whether to re-clear back towards ramp or actually retake in back in the site. But now that they've cleared out Roman, they may be re-incentivized. No, Bait are not moving from their positions. You called it at the very start. They just called a save.
I feel like they should... something weird is going on in Bait's calling this round, because why now not fight for exits? They're massive. If you get 2 or 3 kills,
and you've got
stayed ramp, they could have done massive damage.
Yeah,
but they choose just to fully save, and they need to actually have a pause. I know they're winning rounds, but the ground they're giving towards lower without information, it's fine to lean A, but you can't play blind. Hedrick has to go nuclear from ramp, or you're not retaking that site.
Yeah, and he wasn't even really in a great position to do so before sAw got into the bomb site, so kind of rotated into his death. But maybe they thought that one round from Hedrick in at the cubby or dark on the lower side might have been enough to keep sAw away. No, they just went for it again, and it's Story outside by his lonesome, and a double push here from Bait. Try and secure the secret steps. This time they were putting some respect towards outside, but they've lost some presence towards the top side. Alex, Essential, they both come in with kills though, and Alex still fighting out for main. Does bring it to a man advantage, 3-on-2. Roman playing around the side of the smoke, and that is dastardly. Between him and a Rozdosh, they both collect on heads, leaving only one head left to find. This one's got a trick up its sleeve.
My heart can't take another. And I will not be tested. That is a huge round for sAw to win. Absolutely massive. Instead, Bait tried to make an adjustment. They're thinking, okay, if you want to keep getting out of secret, we'll just send numbers there. But that's the risk, isn't it? Somewhere has to be exposed. It was outer. It was inside A. Just didn't have the numbers. And they should... Bait's main gear is... It's not necessarily aggression, but they're all trying to be the proactive team. And you saw them trying to tumble back into main. They didn't have to. They could have played for a bomb plant and waited for a tap. But they just felt like, we're going to go. And they did not catch sAw off guard, that's for sure.
Yeah, that was the type of call that really does show some of the experience of Muterus as well. You know, how vulnerable that lower side has been multiple rounds, and now finally sAw granted proper success from it. Kind of reading ahead of the Bait adaptation. And they will throw some presence towards those secret steps, and there is at least a sole defender in Alex to keep tabs. NPL, a nice timing outside, does catch Story. Just peeking wide out from red, but they're losing members all over the map now. So after all that initial pressure, Bait have found some great times to strike, leaving ewjerkz and Rozdosh to just try and salvage this round, and it'll not be the most fruitful endeavor. Rozdosh down to 11 HP, and Alex was there as that lower side defender. 7th round for Bait, already looking pretty strong in this opening row of Nuke.
I mean, sAw at least have gone to the back in the map, when at times it was looking scary. It's wild to me that Hedrick isn't the top fragger anymore. It's Alex. That is crazy, given some of the rounds ewjerkz has had.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of the series you saw earlier, but Alex was a monster. First and third map. Absolutely beastly. He's trying to make his case that this isn't a two-man team. There are 3 star players.
They can all definitely rear their heads at different moments, but these heads are catching bullets currently on the top side. Alex down. Captain Kurt as well meets his fate, and Essential is coming from behind at least to find an advantage here for Bait. And Bale keeping tabs out from door as well, but it's Roman that can find great timing. Essential dealt with, and Roman trying to switch towards another gun. It's a Rosdos that sits on that bomb site, but he had low health, and he gets ran down by Headtrick. 8-4 at the half. Bait really turning heads on that CT half. sAw need this map to keep in the series. We'll see how it goes after the break.
Why did you say goodbye? It's better to say goodbye. Why did you say goodbye? It's better to say goodbye. So why did you say goodbye? It doesn't matter. We seem too young to understand. For the better. The weather changes when we dance. Belong together. Catching sunsets, riding waves. We stay forever. Where the rhythm never ends. 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 Where the rhythm never ends.
We come out of that first half from Bates, 8-4 in their advantage. There were some signs there from sAw, but they could have certainly started off better. They need this map to stay in this series. To think about them in the lower bracket when they are one of the favorites for this qualifier, Bait are looking to change our minds.
Oh, a muted start from sAw here in the second half. ewjerkz is gone. Who's up next? Bait are playing angry. They played so much Counter-Strike today. But they can feel it, man.
Oh!
What?
Can they feel that too?
That is unreal from Rosdos. Oh my, we are up for a treat now. Rosdos says no. sAw are not done yet here on Nuke. How does Story not get the catch on Captain Kirkta? Oh, there's so many layers to these rounds. Head trick frags Rosdos. He's the only man remaining. He's pulled off some heroics, would be an understatement for some of the rounds Hedrick has run in this map so far, but this could be too much to ask. Does get a duel against Mutiris, can't finish his food. 40 seconds to go. And Mutiris repositions. Hedrick's actually watching for this. That is... I know it doesn't work, but I can't believe Hedrick is actually watching for that.
Yeah, he had a great read on how this round was going to play out, but lightning shot there from Mutiris, and then the magic dualies of Orozdosh keep
they were
that
so
round
quick.
compelling.
I couldn't even register them in my brain. Just like, whoa.
I mean, he ran, he fired 2 bullets, and he caught 2 headshots. Can't ask for more.
No. That is efficiency of the sweetest variety. Need that with chopsticks.
Yeah, I think Bait are feeling it now.
We're on for a game now. It's fun as well just to see. This could easily still go 3 maps and sAw win it in the end, but sAw is, in some ways, in the qualifiers for Atlanta, sAw kind of had it their own way pretty much the whole qualifier. It's so much fun now to see some questions asked.
To see them pushed, tested, limited. I feel like that's sometimes where you get to see the true potential of where the team can go. And it's looking like they're pretty well fired up to come into this second half. A little back and forth in the pistol, but then they deal with the anti-eco swimmingly. Orozdosh catching 4. He finds himself at the top of the scoreboard.
The quick updates on the other games. Lower bracket, OG are a map down. They lost map 1. They are winning this map at very early stages. Alliance got a map against Namiga. And Namiga's playing really good CS right now, so that's actually quite impressive. Interesting. 9Z, still a map down. And 6-2 down on map 2 against 3D Max. So I need to keep tabs on here on the A stream. Story's about the same. Unexpected results on the horizon. Can Bait keep this going? What the heck just happened there?
The timing is mad. NPL tried to escape in the smoke and it got blown open just as he dove straight into it. So only had his pants down and he was slowed by the HE. He was just trying to run distraction, throw some presses towards outside, but that kind of funnels Bait to attack another side of the extremity. That could filter them into ramp or towards this top side. Seems like they'll lean in towards A. Story does catch the feet of Essential, but Essential finds his head. It's a Orozdosh, 8 HP, finally overwhelmed. Roman in a nice off angle inside of main. Could actually catch out Kirka, but does some damage and doesn't commit to the duel. Kirka catches him in the smoke instead. So now Mutiris coming up through the vents. Has to come away with a kill, but he gets flanked. And that should almost certainly be the round with it. Alex there to trade out, even if Captain Kirka dies. Bait are secure in finding their first here on this T side.
The CS is absolutely brutal at the moment.
I feel like NPL did exactly what you wanted him to do, aside from die. Because he was selling outside, he almost found a kill as well, but yeah, just him ending up empty-handed and Bait not, I guess, ready to go on either side of the map at that point, or I guess the other 2 avenues they could have explored. Come back to...
So it's hard actually when you make your IGL the lurker, which isn't that uncommon on a map like Nuke, and on Vertigo 2 with the A player. It's like, it's a bit hard to coordinate the forces when you got to focus so much on yourself that you can't. You just have to, convey what information you can and hope they're sorting themselves out. That could be a potential route.
Oh my god. I mean, they'll know that players could have crossed, but there was a real timing that could have been hit there from Story to find this third player just slowly slinking his way to those secret steps. Smokes had faded already, but Story was also reloading.
From Roman. He's had to guess. You can see how sAw are actually pretty much giving the A bomb site. Rosdos the only man there. He's in heaven. And now Roman needs to do damage. Gets a dink, but no kill. And there is time for Bait to pivot. They still have 2 players upper side of the map. I think it'd be a huge mistake now to commit out of decon. You've done the job. Let the lurkers move, guys. I really hope they don't overcommit here. I hope they understand their position.
Especially the absence of reactions here from sAw. ewjerkz is trying to create at least some room for them to operate around, but he doesn't catch that player dropping in towards the site. 1 for 1, Orozco still at the back of it. 7 HP he's finally dealt with, and so they have cracked into this top side. The Molotov down, the vents via Essential, but it doesn't actually pop.
Is it airburst?
It bloomed inside of the vent, and so the flames don't actually segment them as much as they'd hoped. It still stopped sAw from progressing quickly. Roman spun around, but heard the gun drop, knew that NPL was close by, and it's a one-on-one. Roman out in the open, head trick gives the fight over, and it's double digits, 2 rounds straight for Bait.
It's just a cage fight. It's mad. So that molly, what did it go? It went down the vent and burst right at the bottom.
It burst in the middle of the vent, so it didn't actually, like, there wasn't actually fire down.
Contact.
Yeah.
You can see also it wasn't just the first guy. The whoever was in Squeaky for Bait probably didn't think someone could come up the vent. Don't think they realised what was going on. Wow. They're having to fight for these rounds, but man alive, they've done the hard part. And sAw's now on the eco. And it's not a great eco, is it? Even the buy in the next isn't going to be brilliant. It's going to be 2-4 loss on this. Stars are starting to align. Just got to keep this clean. It is such a low buy that I have very little doubt Bait's going to win this round. But nonetheless, they've got to bank some money. They need a bit of reserve.
Different steps as well. So they know that players are inside of lobby. One did make it up towards the T-roof, but it's all well and good. They had it all under control. Yeah, Bait have not been the one this series. Hell, even in their recent officials, I don't think they've been a team that have seeded many of those rounds. sAw, however, in this series alone, have lost 2 to low buys or half saves. One was on Ancient, one was on that first half here on Nuke as well.
I'm actually just going through Bait's recent results to see what their other biggest wins have been. Nothing close to this. They beat Bleed, not this level. Some other teams of that sort of caliber. This round will not fall in their direction, though. A very bold call to go numbers out Squeaky. Maybe they thought the money was a bit worse than it was, less mollies. But they did meet a lot of util, so this round, not ideal.
Yeah, they were given a rain of bullets instead.
I mean, I'm going back from their results. This would easily be their biggest series win for in this season, at a minimum. They've beaten Monty a couple times, but Monty, for my money, have never really had their act together. Post-summer.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, towards maybe the end of last year and maybe this sort of middle of last season, you could have made a case for Monty, but that project kind of fell apart very quickly.
They got 2 series wins on Bleed. Probably their biggest.
And that team's now, what, rebuilding?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like they're losing to big teams. They haven't, despite, I mean, their world rank is very good right now. It's just that they haven't been in competition with many top sides. So they haven't had the opportunity to play them.
Yeah, it's cool to see. More national teams throwing their hat in the ring. We will get to see both these teams at the RMR.
Yes.
And feels like the RMR and that circuit does a lot for propelling and, I guess, motivating squads. I mean, sAw only made their first, made their way out of an RMR, what, last major?
They were. Do you remember when they almost beat VP?
Yeah.
God, that was, I remember, because we flew in, Endpoint played, we played in the second bout of the EU RMRs, and we saw them just after they lost, and
Yeah, but that was for Rio, right?
Yeah. No. That was for Antwerp.
Antwerp, right. I was thinking it could be excused because what? BP ended up winning the whole event, didn't they? But nope. Different major.
Yeah, they're a bit suckish in Antwerp, unfortunately.
No. Still some bite to sAw. Pretty emphatic
They're still
defense.
a tight, bro, though, aren't they? I mean, one opening kill like that, and suddenly we're nervous. Story's not out of his game. He was so good on map 1. But again, ewjerkz isn't in. Didn't you just have a massive round early on as well? Am I remembering wrong? Didn't he have like a 3K to start off first pistol?
Yeah, no, he got 3 kills in pistol on
Wow,
T side.
he just hasn't been a factor in the series.
Yeah. It's a little concerning because he is the guy that I think everyone's really looking at on this sAw roster to be that star player that elevates sAw. We know he has it in him. Yeah, shying away here against Bait. Another kill goes their way. They already sit at 11, and it's looking like writing's on the wall. 12 is calling. Roman trying his best to mount a defense, but he's getting shot from 2 sides. And ewjerkz just instantly destroyed coming up through heaven. I'm surprised they even postured in any capacity to try and go for this, but I guess when you're trailing and Bait are at the prospect of 12, you want some level of a heroic effort to sort of mount itself or appear at any given moment, and that just never came for sAw. Oh dear.
This is crazy.
Well, ewjerkz needs to try run and hide, because, I mean, Bait are thinking more long-term about their own money, because they don't want to end up in this position where they have no funds, and then sAw find 5 straight, because that could very well happen. So they do respect ewjerkz enough that he could have done damage to their economy. But they're in great position
genuinely
to close.
stunned by the level in this series. They actually, in their series earlier against OG, they made quite a few mistakes. OG were the better team for a lot of that series. Bait had some monstrous individual plays, but they just look so much more dialed in this series. I don't know what they did during that hour break, but they did a hell of a reset. And they're not missing any shots.
Maybe that's all they needed, is a break. From forfeiting one series just so they could play in this qualifier. And to now be putting themselves in a position where they could be in the upper bracket finals.
Yeah, he actually even questioned when they had the scenario earlier where they might have been able to forfeit map 1 against OG and get away with it. And I was even thinking, well, they're on sAw's side of the bracket here, so they might think less of a forfeit because they feel like they'd be in the lower bracket anyway, but I was wrong. They are competitive, obviously, against sAw. One dink. And this round is looking real flat.
Yeah, nothing really found here for the Bait side, and it's even a Rosdosh that runs with his MP9 right into head trick, gets the upgrade, and just like that, sAw have 4 AKs and an AWP. All they need is 4 more to force OT. Seems simple enough. But Bait will make it anything but. That's outside util. Captain Kurt does possess the soul pistol, everyone else on rifles, but very fast cross for Alex. He dives down towards Secret rapidly. There's the Molotov that greets him. ewjerkz is well smoking it, so it's not as though there can be much progress made. But they'd have their troops in the right place at least. I mean, this has to be a massive hold from Uterus. There is no one that can quickly respond, not unless they retake that ramp room and actually get themselves on the ramp itself. If Uterus dies, this B bomb site would be seeded quickly.
Gives the ground. Story is on location. Is there util heading his direction? There's quite a lot of mollies left, so certainly could disperse one of those. Maybe 2 to deal with ramp. And Uterus gets spammed from behind. Maybe a shoulder showing. Story's out of the game. Roman, very early rotation. Clearly not scared that... Oh! Vent was being hauled. That is a headshot. To bring this into the realm. Story, in the meanwhile, finds NPL. The bomb is stuck lower. Was stuck. Oh, there's so much going on here.
It was still
so
kind of
much
stuck.
Going on.
He tried to go up. Alex had cleared the site, but he didn't know that a Rose Dosh was indoor. Ballsy plant here from Alex. Thinks that he could, of course, be wrapping back towards Hut, but just delay tactics in from a Rose Dosh, and it brings it down to 1-on-1. Alex out in the open, and Story almost catches him in transit, but it's Alex that closes with a 1-on-2. Bait have caused that upset. They forced sAw into that lower bracket, and Bait are that one step closer to ESL Challenger Katowice.
But that last round was so confusing.
I
was
don't
kind of watching
believe.
It, and I was thinking in my mind the whole time, is like, Bait just needs to make a decision here. They need to just go for one site instead of trying to